Yeah, where the meat now?
Yeah, I don't bring water and soap for you now.
Wait. Make a chop so. Madam. Oh, make a manage it. Madam, put meat for this food. You go bring food, you don't put meat inside. Either you put the meat or you go return my money. I go pay for food, you don't put meat inside. Yeah, I say make you put meat for the food. If you don't put meat, then return my money. See, now, return my money if you not go put meat. I say make you put meat for the food.
People, this meat matter, it be like democracy. If government no do as them supposed to, no gree o. Do something. Say something.
Yeah, the woman enter. Where you go bring my meat come?
See your meat.
Mama, you dey talk.
The People's Voice at the sign on 107.3 Darling FM.
It is unsafe to reopen universities now. COVID-19 guidelines are absent, and that is coming from ASU. Another headline says, anxiety as federal government allegedly fails to honor pact with ASU. And just today, we're learning that ASU, SANU and NASU have embarked on a 3-day protest. Matters arising with our education sector is our focus today on the People's Voice. I am Paul the Magician.
And I'm Zandas, Okeke. Both the educational sector, the health sector seems to be having issues, and the federal government seems to be lacking solutions to tackle most of this problem. But the focus this morning is the educational sector.
That's right.
How it plays out.
And that's why we have Chimike Adiele, a professor of education, administration, and planning. And he was one time the mayor of Owerri and chairman Owerri Municipal Council. He's a public opinion analyst, a commentator. He is a fellow with Commonwealth Academy of Education. He's a trainer and a management consultant. Thank you for joining us today.
Good morning, all of you.
Yes.
It was a pleasure to be here.
And Happy New Year to you.
Thank you very much.
Well, so much is going on with our education sector. Branches of the Academic Staff Union of Universities on Sunday assessed COVID-19 protocols in the universities and said the institutions were not ready for safe reopening. Of course, you know, the National Universities Commission had said schools could resume January 18, but must adhere to COVID-19 protocols in the hostels and lectures. And this morning, the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 is saying the January 18th resumption is not sacrosanct. So, where are we with regards to reopening of schools?
Well, I think I'm totally in support of the ASU position. Worldwide, COVID is coming back, and worse still, is a new strain that is not responding very much to the already developed vaccines. So if we're going to have people living, especially under the conditions that we have in our universities, where if you were in the hostels, they are overpopulated, and already before COVID, we are a constant health hazard. And then if you're not in the hostels, you're living in places where you cannot control the health conditions because the landlords and the students control what happens there, then it's not safe to reopen schools at this time. Life is much, much more important than school. On the other side of the coin, anyway, we must know that we have lost 1 year, and that's a significant period in the life of a nation and the life of any human being to not be doing anything significant. So we must find a way to balance this out and do what is right so that children can go back to school. I hope that later on in this discussion I will go into the diverse implications of not reopening the tertiary institutions.
But looking at it, you've said on one hand you're in support of ASU not to reopen, or it's not unsafe to reopen schools. On the other hand, there's diverse implication of not opening. But looking at it critically, everything is being left at the doorstep of the federal government. Can't ASU or the academic institutions come up with solutions, proper solutions to these issues?
No, they're not in a position to do that. They are totally incapable of doing that. First of all, they don't have the technical ability, which rests with the Presidential Task Force and the Federal Ministry of Health in the first instance. And then secondly, they don't have the finances, because the fight against COVID is a very costly fight. So even with these two items only, the academic institutions cannot control this. And in any case, what are they going to do about the hostels that are already overfilled? For example, they can't provide hostels overnight, for example.
Yeah, but we can't build new hostels, we can't build new classroom auditoriums overnight.
Yes.
And student population keeps increasing.
Yes.
So what is the solution? What's the way forward?
Yeah, well, the way forward is what I hope we will talk about. Because this government, we must say, not just this government, Nigeria has been failing for a very long time. And we must face it. We've been failing, and maybe this is a time to look at the problem straight in the eye and do something positive about it. We've been failing in the health sector, we've been failing in security, we've been failing woefully in the educational system. So maybe this will be a wake-up call to this country to become factual and do something about it. Do something about power. Do something about political institutions. Do something about our judiciary. Do all the things that will help us to become stable, so that people can go to school, so that people can run their businesses. It's not just the educational system that is suffering. Businesses have suffered. It was a bleak Christmas. There's a resurgence of COVID. People are dying all over the place. Life is insecure. It's not a happy country to live in, you must say.
I wish it was just COVID that was stopping students from going back to school. Then we would have said, okay, put in place all of the structures and let the students resume. But of course, 2 weeks after they ASU suspended the 9-month-old strike, they are now coming back to accuse the federal government of reneging on the agreement reached with with ASU. Matter of fact, they are saying that the suspension of the strike was provisional, conditional on whether or not the federal government will meet with their demands, and that some of those demands have not been paid, have not been met, especially with regards to December salaries and January. Some lecturers said they've not received their salaries for January. There are backlogs of allowances that ought to be paid as part of the agreement reached, which has not been paid. And this morning, we're learning that the other arms or associations in the academic institution are embarking on a protest. That's the Senior Staff Association of Universities and then the non-academic staff unions in the institutions. Can we really say the strike has been called off? And
the strike has been called off, but as you have analyzed yourself, the conditions are not there for reopening of schools. Now, the federal government are reneging on promises. The federal government has been reneging on all promises that they made. The first time they were elected, and the second time they were elected. So that's no longer news. It's a government that we will have to live with their lies and their unfulfilled promises. And I'm saying this with every sense of responsibility. The dollar has not stabilized. Security is getting worse. There are no jobs. All the things that were promised are nothing. So if this government will not meet its promises, there's no need hoping that this government will ever keep its promises.
After 9 months of strike?
Yes. After a tenure, I'm going to have. None of the promises has been kept. So we will be very stupid, sorry to use that word, but that's what it is, to begin to expect this government to keep any of its promises. What we should do is to accept them as liars and then see what we can do with their lives and move on with our lives and hope that the future will provide opportunities for us to correct.
If the strike is not, let me just drop this. If the strike is not achieving the purpose for which lecturers have been sitting at home and of course denying students academic exercise, then perhaps the NASU SANU embarking on a warning strike now, maybe extending it, might also not work in the long term and continue to cripple the education sector.
Exactly what I'm saying.
So, where's the way out?
The way out is, to my own mind, to accept this government as liars, get whatever we can, and as I just said, move on with our lives, because they will never keep those promises. It's clear.
Are you saying this with ASU in mind?
With everything.
With everything.
The only people who can save us, unfortunately, are incapable of saving us. At this National Assembly. That's the last hope. If we had responsible and responsive people in the National Assembly, they will call this government to order.
I recall that a former Minister of Labour, Wogu, actually said some few years back that the way and manner, all the issues being raised by unions, both in the educational, the health, and other unions in the country, are not issues that the federal government can deal with immediately. You understand? He came out during the Jonathan era to say that, and that it needs other ingenious ways to solve some of these problems.
Maybe
and you've said that the way it is right now, we are not expecting, or ASU is not expecting anything from this government.
I don't think ASU should be. That statement by Wogu was 7-8 years ago.
Yes.
And that was immediate. Now we are to approximate and nothing has changed. So can't you see that we're not making any movement?
Yeah, but my point exactly. So why will ASU, being eggheads, knowing that the government is finding it difficult to solve all of these problems at once, not look for probably other ways to probably interface and allow students graduate, because the grass are the ones suffering, the students and parents.
Sir, let me tell you, I'm a member of this profession and I was in the public university system for a very long time. And now I've been in 2 private universities, and I can tell you what goes on. In the private universities, yes, the eggheads have found ways of getting around this problem, and as you can see, the universities are on one way or the other. Even during COVID, in where I work, for example, we went online and lectures were continuing and exams and tests were administered, and pretty well things were going on. Okay, but in the public sector, where the government that we elected is directly involved, nothing has changed, and there's very little that they can do. Are they going to provide laboratories for themselves and laboratory materials and workshops and all those things? So we have failed. And what ASU is doing is trying their best to get this government to do the minimum. And they have failed to do even the minimum. It's a terribly emasculating situation, and frustrating, if I may say so, for people working in the public sector, in the public educational sector. People who want to do things, people who have acquired skills and knowledge that they want to transmit and use in several ways, and they can't. Sorry, sir. The bad thing about this is that we're living in a country where we're spending 15% of our expenditure on just 300 persons in the National Assembly. And up till yesterday, they have refused to tell us how much they take home. So if we should take just 7.5% of what goes to the National Assembly, for example, and put it in the educational sector, these problems will disappear. They've done the arithmetic. The budget that they're asking for will be met with 2 years entitlements and emoluments of the National Assembly. And all these problems will go. Now, can the members of the National Assembly who receive, we hear, and we have very good reason to hear that and believe that, 1 million naira a month, can they now go to 500,000 naira a month, for example, and let this problem go away?
I was going to ask...
And then, if this is happening, how do you expect a lecturer who spent years, a professor who spent years acquiring a PhD and writing papers and going to conferences to back down, so that some person will become much, much richer doing absolutely nothing, as some of them have done?
If we were to look at...
I mean, if you see the situation the way I see it.
Professor, let's look at options available to us, because we can go on and on this program talking about all the problems that the education sector is facing, and we'll be left with the problems, except that we'll have discussed possible solutions. Can we start looking in the direction of privatizing these institutions, especially because government has not done very well in managing federal institutions or even at the state level?
Very quickly, no, sir. I will tell you why. And that's why I said that maybe we'll be discussing this. So maybe this is the time. Look, let me tell you, the danger in what is going on in Nigeria is not just that schools are shut. Is that it's going at the very foundation of democracy. One of the basic tenets of democracy is equal opportunity. Now, those who can afford are sending their children abroad and to private universities, right? In the same country. So, two gentlemen graduate from, say, government secondary school, and then one goes into the federal university system, federal or state university system, and the other one goes into the private university system or goes abroad. In 4 years, the gentleman who went abroad or is in the private university has graduated with a degree. The other one is still doing second year. Can you see that already there's inequality? Not because of any natural endowments or anything, but because of bad government policy and practice. Okay? So the rich are getting richer. The rich, the children, the offspring of the rich are getting more well-grounded into the economic system and into the politics of the country. The divide between the haves and have-nots is increasing, so we are going to have an implosion. This country is going to, in the next few years, get so unsafe to be in. So we will not be dealing only with Boko Haram and hunger and poor health. We'll also be dealing with the problem of the society itself being together, people seeing themselves as belonging in the same system. And that is more dangerous than even Boko Haram.
So if you're saying no to maybe a private partnership arrangement with these institutions, what then are you preferring?
What I'm preferring is this, very simple, okay? We have to, well, on the long run, we have to do fundamental things. The first thing to do, as I always say here, is that we must go back to the foundation of this country and agree that the 1999 Constitution, which is actually a military decree foisted on us by vested interests, is not working. We must repudiate it in its totality and then come together and get something that will work. And in getting that thing that will work, restructure this country in such a way that people are more responsive to their immediate environment, get into smaller structures that are more, that can work. Smaller structures that can work, whether it is zone, whether it is region, whether it is province, whatever it is that we may have to call it, so that we can then control. This thing is about control and accountability. We can hold people accountable. It's difficult to hold Abuja accountable given the present situation, political arrangement that we have. So that will be one. But in the today and tomorrow,
in the immediate.
Thanks for the word. The federal government should wake up and see that they are putting this country on the course of destruction if what is happening in the educational system continues to happen. And if they realize that, and realize it not just as a protest by some group of people, but as a basic security issue, deal with it as a security issue. For example, give it the same attention, the same financial and administrative attention as we have given to Boko Haram, because the consequences of what is happening in the educational system is more serious for the future existence of this country than Boko Haram.
All right. Hold your thoughts here. We will continue to engage Professor Jachimike Adele on the state of our education sector in Nigeria. But right now we have to take some commercials. We'll be right back.
Darling FM 107.3,
The People's Radio.
Introducing
repackaged and reloaded Zaza Hotels.
Strategically accessible from Onisha Road by Lost Chosen Church and World Bank.
It is rebranded for your pleasure and comes with free Wi-Fi, 24 hours power supply, cinema quality HD screen for football lovers, Olympic-sized swimming pool, snooker and table tennis board.
That's not all. African and continental dishes, not forgetting the exquisitely furnished rooms to match your taste. Just step into Zaza Hotel for first-class hospitality service. Zaza Hotel is located at number 28 Yarado Drive, Owerri.
For more inquiries, call 0803-785-8386 or 0803-743-2115.
They say, when life throws you lemons, you make lemonades. We say, lemonade not tire you when you can. Refresh yourself with the new Super Yogo lemon flavor. Then get up and keep going. After all, it's what you make of what life gives you that really matters.
Introducing the new and exciting Fine Milk Super Yogo lemon flavor. Your on-the-go refreshment to keep you going. Super Yogo lemon flavor, another quality product from Fine Milk PLC.
For bookings and more, visit our website today on www.flyairpeace.com.
Nne, nke ị na-ebugharị silinda iburu gbada.
Maazị Ibe, ike agwụla m o. Amaghị m ebe ọzọ ga-abụ nga agbata gas njesi nri. Ndị sure maka
ozugo nwaanyị orogwe ekpesazina maka na ndị na-eji mega gas plant awụchala ọzọ n'orogwe anyị a Lenubu Oke n'ekwekwa bọgịrị savisi ha na-enye kara aka ha buru ụzọ ha anara gị silinda gị gbajuru gị ya ojupụ m n'ọnụ ha ewere aka ha donyere gị ya na moto ha na-erekwazi silinda na accessories ya ma na-edozikwazi silinda mebiri emebi ngwagaba ugbu a na uhu afọmakọ dị so n'ụlọ ụka ndị Salvation Army Orogwe Owerri West Local Government Area of Imo State ka ịbara okwu n'ụlọ pụọ n'akara ekwentị a 09137720001 maọbụ ị gaa na webụsaịtị anyị www.regimgas.com.ng ma cheta na anyị nwere Regime Gas Plant n'Egbu Road n'iru Relief Market Owerri ya na Warrior North Pocket Layout Irete Egbada Junction Onitsha Road Owerri. Regime Mega Gas Plant esimesi ebirila ọkụ.
Mommy, let's play football. Mommy, help me push my bicycle. Mommy, jump rope. Mommy, here, let's play hide and seek. Mommy, let's have some Twisco. You need it.
It's easy to spot a Twisco kid because they seem to be so active. Introducing new Twisco chocolate drink powder, a unique blend of cocoa, milk, and malt, fortified with Enofort, a special blend of vitamins and minerals that helps give kids the vitality they need for an action-packed day.
Twisco, power your dream.
Rental Hotel and Suites, a home away from home. Rental Hotel and Suites, for your luxury and comfort. Enjoy yourself with good hospitality.
Mr. Charles, how was your night?
I slept like a newborn baby. It's so awesome.
Your comfort is my priority.
Thanks, Mike.
Think of home. Think of Rental Hotel and Suites.
Rental Hotel and Suites is a world-class hotel aiming at redefining the hospitality perception. Pristinely cleaned with exceptional services of international standard. You can get exclusive rooms of different types, world-class swimming pool, gym, ample parking slots, laundry services, internet services, conference hall, African and intercontinental dishes. And at Rental Hotel, you can get complimentary breakfast. We also have executive bar, cool bar, and we offer airport transfer. Visit Rental Hotel and Suites at Rental Roundabout, former 4040 Roundabout, New Owerri, or call 0704-984-5794. Rental Hotel and Suites. Rental Hotel and Suites, a place to be.
Are you not tired of living in a rented apartment? Sack your landlord. Cubana View Estate. It can only be Cubana. Cubana View Estate is located just opposite Redemption Estate, Port Harcourt Road, Obinze. Cubana View Estate, Obinze. With 2.5 million naira, you can get yourself a plot of land inside Cubana View Estate, Obinze, Port Harcourt Road, Obinze, just opposite Redemption Estate, Obinze, Imo State. I encourage you to buy as many plots as possible. This is the best time for you to buy. If you buy from Cubana View Estate, you will get it at 2.5 million naira now instead of 5 million naira. Pay 50%, just pay half the price and enjoy this promo. This is a fantastic season. Enjoy this Happy New Year promo. For more inquiry, I beg make you call 081-3954-0424. 081-3954-0424. One more time, 081-3954-0424. Cubana View Estate. It can only be Cubana.
Darling FM 107.3.
Our education sector seems to be under siege, and that is because of matters arising. First, it was COVID-19 that led to schools being shut down, and now that even the federal government's agreement with ASU is becoming so shaky, we are not certain if the January 18 resumption is feasible. I would like to ask, before we engage our listeners, what is the implication if come January 18 our schools are not reopened for students to resume academic activities in our tertiary institutions?
It has a lot of implications. I don't think we can go through all of them. Well, maybe we'll take some of the most important ones. One, in the life of a country, you have development plans, you have annual budgets and all that. It means that the role of the education sector in a budget for 1 year, for example, and ultimately for the rolling plans, has been vitiated. It's clear. It means that some of the things that we wanted to do with the education sector can no longer work. And if you know that all the institutions in society are interrelated, it means that a lot of the things that we want to achieve in the society can no longer be achieved. And this is a very sorry thing to say. It's terrible. Okay? For example, if we had said this year we're going to produce 30 teachers, it's very clear that we can't have 30 teachers. So if we don't have 30 teachers to put into the educational system, it means that we're not going to have a certain number of people passing physics and math, which means that ultimately we're not going to have a certain number of engineers and computer scientists and all those sort of people. So ultimately, we are losing upon our losses. It's terrible, isn't it? Now, that is what has happened. That's one. Two, there are children, young adults, at the age when they are most active, at the age when they are supposed to be engaged in every way, so that they can get out of crime, get out of laziness, engage themselves and begin to prepare them, who for almost 1 year have been idle. Now, you know what that means. For young adults, 18 years to 25 years, men, ladies, prostitution will be booming because this country has emasculated most parents. They are unable to take care of their children. Crime will increase. Yahoo business will become attractive. That again is very serious for this country. And you know how these things are. One small thing starts and it begins to grow. So we are forming new communities of people who are engaged in crime and engaged in anti-social activities. And it has started. When it starts, it starts. And it takes a lot of effort by police, by churches preaching, to try to get these people back. And then how many have we gotten back in the past? That's another one. It also means that university infrastructure, which we didn't have, is decaying. Unused labs, unused equipment.
Classrooms
that have become dirty and unserviceable. My brother, it's lost left, right, and center. But it's not just the law that is disturbing. It's that those who should speak up for this thing, stand up for it, talk about it, and do something about it, appear to be very comfortable with the situation. So the further implication is that the political system itself is being spoken to, and no response is coming.
All right. Imolites are going to respond now. Of course, you are at liberty to join the conversation on social media, Darling FM Owerri. That's where you find us on Facebook, and we have quite a number of comments to take on this matter. The phone line is 0815-050-1073. You can watch us on the go. We are live on YouTube. Just search for us, Darling FM, and you can see what Professor Jachimike Adele looks like. All right, let's take some calls very quickly. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my dear brother. Paul and Zandas, I greet you.
We greet you.
Prof, I greet you. Happy New Year, sir.
Yeah, the Korage Mao.
To all of you there, Happy New Year. That's about normal.
Happy New Year, bro.
Paul and Zandas, this is Ezimo Kroda. I call you from Abakura Haji.
You're welcome.
One let and go to wish you. Obahuru, I'm waiting a back with you. Here you go to studio to the Sharia. I am reading about you in the phone or to show money in Nigeria. Let my body to wish you. Even in a question you walk. Makanya, Heritage, and then doesn't know about her. I get a walker. She know you share run out her. Your children are not schooling here. Are we asking for too much? Give us good education. Give us good hospital, give us good news. That's all. Then give the rest. But no. Look, and when you have them what? Get a true on Arima. The my foundation here in China. Foundation of this nation have collapsed, have rotten. And the people concerned doesn't want to say because they are where we are crying. Look, in short, it's okay, thank you.
Oh my God.
Thank you for putting your emotions in check.
Yeah.
Even though it's really sad, we continue to talk about this.
Hello, good morning, my dear brother Zandas.
Good morning.
Good morning, my professor.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you, sir. My name is Comrade Ompadek Chidozie Mosu. I come from my hometown, Omokanno Haji, the most peaceful community in Imo State. Prof, you have said it all. And I want to state categorically that I'm highly disappointed with our system. Look at for 1 year now, our students are still at home, and the government are telling us everything is in line with the COVID-19 protocol. We are observing the COVID-19 protocol, yet we are holding election for the people. We are holding rallies, campaigns here and there, and up to now, our students are still at home. I don't know what is the problem of our leaders. I'm really disappointed, and I want to say that as far as ministries, markets, trust institutions have reopened, there is no justifiable reason why our schools should remain closed. Look at some of our graduates that are supposed to go for their NYSC are still at home. What's about this country? Enough of this insults on us. Our government should please stop the gallery and change.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a wonderful in the south. No,
You know, comments on Facebook suggest that the blame is on ASU.
Some are, ASU and the federal government.
Yes. If you want to take some very quickly.
All right, this one says, good morning, Darling FM crew. For me, I think ASU is not helping the federal government at all. Let them reopen schools. Which type of wala is this? Then another person, that's according to Beatrice Marcus, Jagaban says, both the federal government and ASU has failed us. I regret enrolling myself in school. And another person is saying, FG should pardon ASU.
And if you add this one from Okeke Onyeka, who says ASU are only doing this because it is not a no work, no pay basis. What happened to their conscience? They are fast losing the sympathy people have for them. Nursery, primary, and post-primary students are learning, while the youths that can even take proper care of themselves are not safe. So if you look at this, it seems as though federal government is doing the most, but ASU seem to be responsible for why our schools are still shut at the moment.
Yeah, you remember I said that for me the way forward is to accept the fact that this government will never keep any of its promises. I said that earlier, and then move on. That's what I said. But again, it's also very dangerous to move on into almost certain death, mass death for people. Okay, So I would suggest that the universities can, on their own, do whatever they can to aid the COVID protocol. But then where is the money? Where is the money? They've not paid salaries. They've not provided books. They've not provided research materials. They have not provided all the basic things.
40 billion naira was recently released to ASU.
Yep.
And of that sum, the sharing formula is that 75% of that money is supposed to go to ASU, while the remaining 25% is to be shared by the non-academic staff and some other junior lecturers per se, which of course is bringing division in the university system, and that is leading to the protests that we're seeing from NASU and SANU at the moment. So if you look at the fact that they've been fighting so hard to get the federal government to release funds, and now federal government has released 40 billion out of the total of almost 200 billion they were requesting for, the university system is still divided as to how to share this money.
Oh yeah, it has to be, because both NASU and SANU have their own grievances. But so that this does not distract us, this money is not for fighting COVID.
Obviously.
Sure. So are we going to now divert that money to fighting COVID? The answer is no. In fact, the university is actually incompetent to do that diversion, even if they want to do that. So there is need to address the issue of COVID. Is it better for us to stay at home and be alive, or go back to school and put people to danger? See, we haven't even gotten the vaccines.
Right.
The one that is tested. We haven't gotten it here, and there's no mass vaccination going on. And now that particular virus has a new strain, and the world is fighting to get another vaccine for that one. Suppose, God forbid, we get into a situation where there's transmission, there's community transmission, and people are dying. Can you visualize what it will be? That would be terrible. So we are walking, devastating. That would be devastation. That's the word. So we are walking a very thin line between survival and being practical.
Yeah.
Yes, the school should start. Yeah, I mean, because it also has implications, as I have tried to draw. If we don't start, we are drawing ourselves back economically, and we're going back among the community of nations. Okay, but then should we also go to sudden death? So I would think that those in authority, you see, my brothers, my listeners, this problem can be solved if we had people in the National Assembly who have, see, the executive has failed, will continue to fail. And when I say the executive, I'm not particular about the Buhari administration. Over the years, there are so many things that happened by the federal government as an institution, not necessarily about what party or who controlled it, that should make us believe and accept that at this time it will be difficult to get all we want from government. But should our own representatives keep quiet? The answer is no. Why are they keeping quiet? Why can they not attend to this problem of COVID in the same way that they attend to their wardrobe allowances, for example, and their constituency allowances, for example?
What are your thoughts? This message came from Chief Chidi Mwakwara, who says, Paul and Zandas, I really don't see anything that tells us that federal government is serious about resolving the impasse in our schools. Entering into agreement with unions is easy, but implementation is a different ball game. What's on ground in our schools to tackle the ravaging COVID? We have been getting sweet releases from government that mean nothing. Honestly, government isn't serious about bringing sanity to our school system, and it says, God help us. Well, let's take some calls. Let's see if perhaps a lawmaker would join the conversation and tell us why they've been so silent on this.
A lawmaker from where? From space?
No, they're
still at home.
They're around. No, they're around.
Okay.
They're around.
Hello, good morning. Who is calling? Emeka, you're welcome.
From Government House Roundabout.
Cannot give us roads, give us water, give us a good school, because their children are not schooling here. This This is the reason why they are playing politics with our education here. Small head of they will all fly abroad. So my brother, to me, I don't really know the reason why we have government in this country. Thereby they cannot give us all the things that I mentioned now. Thank you, my brother.
Okay. So if we're going to keep paying tax, we're going to keep abiding by the rules and regulations.
And if I may say, you see, when young people continue, you know the number of calls we've had and the number of messages that we have read out here. Now, young people are saying it is because their children are not here. It's becoming a refrain. Everybody's saying it is because their children are not here. It is because their children are not here. This song that is going on is an indication that something terrible will soon happen. There's a divide. People are very conscious of the fact that they are being taken for a ride. You take our tax money, we see you in the villages building big houses. Somebody who had no business a few years ago, suddenly you're building big houses. You have 7 policemen guiding you. Your children are abroad. Your chicks are getting pinkier every day. Something is happening. Something is happening. It's slowly coming. And one day, it's just like when there's a lot of gas in your kitchen. One spark,
it explodes.
And there's an explosion. So we must do something about this.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, Zandas. Good morning.
Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
I'm
Nkem, are you a student?
Yes, sir.
The way you're sounding, obviously you're tired of staying at home.
Yes.
It's very clear. Mr. Paul Zandas, the truth of the matter in this country, we have realized that our government, none of the children are school here in Nigeria. And that should be something as experience before we elect them. Anybody who is coming out to contest for any position, we can know that it is the children think they are killing here in Nigeria. Because if they are not, they will use our educational systems because they are playing us 50 canals. So, we don't even care what happens to us.
Nkem, the volume on your radio is too loud. If you're going to keep talking, please move away from your radio or turn it down.
Okay. Is it okay now?
Yes, okay.
Go ahead.
So what I'm saying is, if we can the criteria that anybody that wants to come up for any position, the family will decide here in Nigeria, and school will do everything in Nigeria. That can change it.
Okay.
Because all of them are doing the same thing. Anyone that comes in will do the same thing. Just look at Yagua, Nekede rules that they lamenting upon everything. Nothing is happening because they don't follow the rules. Only election period you see them coming, saying that they are going to do the rules. So we are dying here.
Okay.
So Mr. Polas and the man, the professor in the studio have said it all. And the doctors make a contribution.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Make our politicians school and live in the country.
Yeah, well,
see,
some of those laws have been made before now, but you say it's more of rhetorics than action.
Right.
You know, some state governments have said no government officials, children should go to a private school. They should be in the public system to give confidence to the populace. But it's not really happening. Nobody enforces the law.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Your name, where are you calling from?
Good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
My name is Richard.
Okay.
The truth about the whole lockdown on schools is just very funny. One of those dirty politics we see of the federal government. But it is, I want to liken our education system with the Nigerian politics. All this intervention money as you're looking for. I want to ask, the ones that have been used before now, what have they used? What have they degree? What have they achieved to the educational system? You will see that even the politicians know that all this money we are trying to release, at the end of the day, it will see the waste of effort and waste of money, because you will see the impact. You will see that children are giving money or approved money for a research. That is when you raise the money to go and build a house or buy a new car. So we even go in this Nigerian system. So it is very, very funny. You will see a school with 100 professors and no single idea is being sold to make money. Everybody is giving to the federal government. That is why the federal government is playing around because they know what has to know what the government knows. Everybody is just busy, jumping and jumping. Nobody is seriously trying to move the economy forward. So how would our federal government now begin to implement anything? All of them, they are all educated. So they don't help us in this measure.
So there you have it.
Prof, they are putting lecturers on the spot. Sometimes these monies are released and they use it for private
use.
Buying of cars, building houses instead of carrying out research and doing the needful.
I don't think so. How much money do you give lecturers? The people are asking for money that's not been released, and you're telling us. The thing I don't like about many lecturers, and many of my colleagues don't like me when I come here to say it all the time, is that some of us are morally bereft of morals. You know, we do certain things to make money out of the children, which is worse than what the federal government is actually doing, like selling grades, okay, like taking advantage of children, publishing, printing books and asking people to buy it compulsorily and all that, and then buying houses and clothes and cars with proceeds from such things, setting very bad examples to people who have been given to us to show good examples. Yeah, that some lecturers do, no doubt about that. But research money, where is the research money? Is it the one that has come or the one that has not come? Many of us have had to labor and find research money from international institutions and that. Do you want me to take that one and put it back to university? I will never do that. I wouldn't. You know, it's a very frustrating thing to be a lecturer in Nigeria now. I am a lecturer, for example, and I suffer to have my child trained abroad. Should I not be one who should have my children here, to, like you said, to put confidence in the system and all that? But we find ourselves working in situations that we ourselves know are substandard. I can't know that my system is substandard and then put my own children under such situations if I can help it. So the lecturers, yeah, in terms of using money for research and other things no, I don't think so. The money is not there, but there are things that lecturers do that are condemnable, okay? And we will continue to condemn those things. But we must find a way out of this present predicament that we are in. And one way, as I have said, is, for example, can the National Assembly make some emergency budget for education, for example? It is within their purview. They can do it. Call for some supplementary budget and say, look, because of this problem, because COVID is not allowing us to achieve our aims in education, and education is central in society, in the institutions of the society. It's a matter of national and urgent importance. Let's make a budget of, let us say, 100 billion. Federal government, go anywhere you can and find that money. Why should we be looking for money for education when we have borrowed money to build a refinery in the Niger Republic? Is that refinery more important than our educational system, which is the foundation of our society? You see, so many things are happening that you can't, sometimes you get to think, these people, I'm sorry to use it, but it had to be said. I wish sure that the people who are governing us are sane. You're pouring more money than you need to fix the education system to do something outside Nigeria. And your educational system, which is the center, inside is rotten. And all our representatives are quiet.
No, there's something wrong with this ninth assembly.
Oh my God.
Well, some have said they are a rubber stamp assembly, but
it's difficult to understand. There's no single person who will come up and say, Mr. President, please do not take this loan. If there is a loan to be taken, bring it. Let's put it in education.
Let's put it in health.
Let's put it in health.
And infrastructure. Well, we'll take another commercial and hopefully accommodate more calls when we return. Yes, this matter concerns us all. Yes. That's a parent or a student or one who is concerned about the safety of this country, because if our children, our students continue to stay idle, you know what they say about the idle mind. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Darling FM.
107.3.
The People's Radio.
Mommy, let's play football. Mommy, help me push my bicycle. Mommy, jump rope. Mommy, here, let's play hide and seek. Mommy, let's have some Twisco. You need it.
It's easy to spot a Twisco kid because they seem to be so active. Introducing new Twisco chocolate drink powder, a unique blend of cocoa, milk, and malt, fortified with Enofort, a special blend of vitamins and minerals that helps give kids the vitality they need for an action-packed day.
Twisco. Power your dream.
OneXBet huge wins from high odds all the way with the fastest payout. Take more for winning advantages from your deserving bets on all sports. Because with OneXBet, everyone can win. What about you? Visit our website on onexbet.ng. Use promo code BETNG and get up to 200% bonus on your first deposit. Yes, 200% bonus on your first deposit. OneXBet. Bet for every taste.
Have a biggie Christmas and a fearless New Year. Noel.
It's a season to be merry, and most importantly, it's a season to stay fantastically refreshed. From every one of us at Right Foods, we're wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Have a biggie Christmas and a fearless New Year.
Na success everybody they see. Nobody was there when the journey started. When you had to kill your sleep and sometimes break down with pains, aches and fever. But success lies at the other end of pain. And as a Naija born and bred, we know they carry last. Push through pain with Emzo paracetamol. Then stare pain in the face and say, not today.
For aches, pains and fever, trust Emzo paracetamol. If symptoms persist after 2 days, please see your doctor.
Darling FM 107.3.
Goodness. All right. So yes, let's squeeze in 2 more calls on this conversation.
Hello. Good morning.
With our head education sector. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning, Paul and Zandas.
Good morning.
Our guest, good morning.
Good morning. God bless you.
Yes, this is Friday from River State.
Friday, you're welcome. Go on.
Yeah. For education aspect. This is over 9 months and 8 months on online. Our other education shut down. I feel like it's a COVID-19 causes. It's like Indica itself as a mission of reality, Indica itself is a part of the problem we have for this country. Yes. Because you feel that APC can talk only their own out there, they would accept. It's not like that. I'm not saying the son is not Nigeria. You know the son is not Nigeria. But the son, I wish the son is in this country. School for this country. I mean, all this mess can continue. When I bet the students, me, that's not I won't continue to my education anymore. I'm working with my business. And I'm living large now. People are still at their budget. I won't say from Nigeria. Let them work with themselves. Yeah, school is good despite all right. Try to engage them with something else. I promise you, not 6 months, you feed the family.
All right. Friday.
Everything in Nigeria is flawed.
Friday.
Yes.
That's how much our time will allow.
Yeah.
But that's a pathetic one.
Yeah, this is serious. Please, Friday, and any other youth who may be thinking this way, please do not abandon your education. Please, I beg you, in the name of everything that is good, do not ever think about abandoning your education. I can feel your pain. And any reasonable Nigerian should feel your pain. I will continue to say that it's a wonder that those who should represent us and speak on our behalf are not seeing this danger and are not feeling it. It's something I can't understand. It's beyond comprehension. Please, may I beg those who are in authority to please do something about this, now that we can still do something about it. Everybody, let's stop the blame game. Let's stop this game. It's the lecturers, it is this thing needs money. Let's divert money that is being spent on things that are not in our interest to this thing. Every educationist knows, every person who has studied education knows that one thing that makes us proud as teachers is that it is said that put into the school what you want to put into the society, which means that education is the center of society. And if we are not taking care of education, it means that we don't care about our nation. Please, this money that we are using for railways and refineries, they are good. But if you don't have people who are committed to this society to use these things, they will all fail, as they have failed. So let's take all this money, get the universities working again, get the polytechnics working again. Look, let me tell you, it's not just us. Very soon the polytechnics will join. Very soon the colleges of education will join. Because there are issues that have not been addressed over a very long time. Can we just wake up and say, look, for this year, 2021 to 2022, let us tackle education and get things right. And this country will be better for it.
We will end it with this appeal from Professor Jachimike Adele, an appeal that has gone out to our lawmakers, the federal government, and everyone collectively raising their voice, to say enough is enough. We have to put some focus into our education sector, divert some of the funds being wasted to the education sector,
or slash that of the National Assembly, 50%. Leave 50% for National Assembly, the remaining 50%. Let's put it into education for the next 5 years and see what happens.
Professor Jachimike Adele was one time the mayor of Owerri and chairman of Owerri Municipal Council. He's a public opinion analyst. He's a management consultant and trainer, and a fellow with Commonwealth Academy of Education. We thank you for your time.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Yes. We'll anchor here and resume another edition of The People's Voice tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. I am Paul the Magician.
And I'm Zandas. Okay.
Good morning.